logarithm table. Based on what we have on the board, evaluate using logarithm table. You see this very exercise. Square root of 24.3 times 520.4 raised to power 2, all divided by 2.65 raised to power 3 times 4015. Now, you can solve this with the use of calculator, but from the question, use logarithm table. Now, to solve this using logarithm table, we have our table. You arrange it in this very way. You have the number, you have the logarithm. In a short form, we write log. Now, the first one, you have square root of 24.3. So we are going to solve this. The second one, we have 52.0.4, all raised to power 2. We solve this. Now, whatever thing we obtained, it becomes our numerator. It becomes our numerator. Then, after which we look into the denominator, where we have 2.65 raised to power 3. Then we have 4015. Then after which we obtain the denominator. Now, let's start our solving. Now, to the first one, we have square root of 24.3. First, we need to get the characteristics. And the characteristics is the integer part. Like this very number, we have 24 as the integer part, while we have 3 as the decimal part. Now, whenever you are now working on the logarithm, the characteristics becomes the what? The integer part. While you now have the decimal part as the mantissa. And the mantissa is the one we will now work out with the use of our logarithm table. Now, based on the characteristics, you can convert this to standard number. 24.3. In a standard number is equivalent to 2.43 times 10 raised to power 1. Now, that very power now, which is 1, becomes your characteristics. So we have the characteristics, 1 point. Now, let's see 520.4. Convert it to standard form number. So we have this. If you convert this to standard form number, we have 5.204. Now you have shifted 2 times 1, 2. So we have 10 raised to power 2. Now the 2 becomes the characteristics. We still do the same thing on the numerator, on the denominator parts. We have 2.65. Now convert this to standard form. 2.65. That point is already at the standard point, at the standard place. So no need of shifting because it is already at the standard what? Position. So in that case, have you made any shift? No. It means 10 raised to power 0. 0 implies you did not make any shift. So in that case, that 0 becomes the characteristics. Then the last one, which is 4015. 4015 is still the same thing as 4015.0. Now, on the integer part, you have 4 digits, which means your characteristics will be 3. Let's look into it. We have 4.015 times 1, 2, 3. You made a shift 3 times. So your characteristics becomes what? Your characteristics becomes 3. So you now have 3 here. Okay. So based on this now, we've got the characteristics part. Now let's work on the mantissa part. That's the decimal part. Now we have to work on this 24.3. That means we now look for what? 24 in your logarithm table. Then under what? Under 3. 24, you look for 24 under 3. So 24 under 3 will give us what? You check on it. What will be the answer, students?
3856.
So you now have 3856. Now 3856 is the mantissa. Why the characteristics is what? Is 1. Now let's check the next one there. But before that, you have what? Square roots. So that square root, that is, we have 2 roots. That 2, we divide this very what? Exercise. So you now divide whatever thing you obtain by what? You divide it by 2. That's the meaning of this square root now. You divide by root by 2. If you have cube root, you divide by 3. If you have 4 roots, you divide by 4. So if we divide this now, whatever thing we obtained becomes the logarithm itself. Okay, let's just say it well. Now, with the use of our calculator we are going to divide this. With the use of our calculator. So 1.3856 divided by 2. Okay, let's see the solving now. 1.3856 divided by 2, which will now give us 0.6928. Okay, so we move to the second one, which is 520.4. Now we are going to look for 52 under 0. Now 52 under 0 will give us what?
7160.
So we have 7160. Now under that line, that same row, check the difference of 4. So the difference of 4
is 3.
So we have 3. So you now add the difference. 0 plus 3 gives 3. You bring down 6, 1, and the 7. So here now you have 7163. Now because of the power, you multiply. So you see this. When you have roots, you divide. If you have power, you multiply. So we now multiply by 2. So with the use of our calc, we have 2.7163 times 2. Then we are now having 5.4326. Now we are done with the numerator, hence we have to simplify to get the numerator. So what we obtained here, the logarithm of square root of 24.3 gives 0.6928, while the logarithm of 520.4 squared gives 5.4326. Now, based on the theory of logarithm, if you are to obtain logarithm of A times B is the same thing as logarithm of A plus logarithm of B. So we now have this logarithm of square root of 24.3 times logarithm of 520.4 squared. Because of that multiplication, we are now taking this, maybe this as A, while this one as B. Is the same thing as what? Logarithm of A plus logarithm of B. And already we've got the logarithm of this first one, we've got the logarithm of the second one, thereby we have to add both of them. So we add this plus this very one. Okay, so by addition, 8 plus 6 gives 14, we write 4. Carry 1. 2 plus 2 gives 4, plus 1, we have 5. 9 plus 3 gives 12, we write 2 and carry 1. 6 plus 4 gives 10, plus that one we have 11 points. 0 plus 5 gives 5, plus 1 we have 6. So 6.1254 gives the numerator. Now for the denominator, we have 2.65 raised to power 3. Now we are going to check what? 26 under 5. So we have 26 under 5. Now what's 26 under 5?
4, 2, 3, 2.
So we have 4, 2, 3, 2. That's the mantissa. Now because of this power 3, we multiply by 3. So we multiply by 3. 0.4232 times 3. 0.4232 times 3. It gives 1.2696. Now 4015. So we have to check 40 under 1, then difference 5. We write it as a mantissa. So 40 under 1 gives what?
6031.
So it gives 6031. Then check the difference of 5.
5.
So the difference of 5 is 5. So you now add the difference. 1 plus 5 is 6. You bring down 3. Bring down 0. Bring down 6. So we now have 6036. Now this is the 4015. That's the logarithm of it. So we bring it here again. 3.6036. Now because of that same multiplication, based on the rule I gave to you, logarithm of these products can as well be written as logarithm of first plus second, which means we are now going to add the numerator, the logarithm of the numerator. So here now we have 6 plus 6 gives 12. We write what? We write 2, carry 1. 9 plus 3 gives 12. Plus 1, we have 13. We carry 1. 6 plus 0 is 6. Plus 1, 7. 2 plus 6, we have 8. Point. 1 plus 3, we have what? 4. So this gives us the what? The denominator. Now what we are going to do now, we get another table for numerator and the denominator. Now we have the number, we have the log. Now for the numerator, what we have for the numerator is 6.1254. While for the denominator, we have 4.8732. Now from the theory there, the numerator divided by denominator. The division in our logarithm, based on the theory of logarithm, if we are given two numbers to add, take the logarithm of both by division. Something like this, we have logarithm of A divided by B is the same thing as log of A minus log of B. So we'll have all numerator as A now, while denominator we have it as B. Now is the same thing as saying logarithm of A minus logarithm of B. So here now we have the logarithm of A, we have the logarithm of B. So logarithm of A minus logarithm of B. So we now have to multiply this. So if you multiply, if you subtract, so we now subtract. 4 minus 2 gives 2. 5 minus 3 gives 2. 2 minus 7 cannot. We carry 1 here, put here, it becomes 12. 12 minus 7 gives 5. We have 0 already here. 0 minus 8 cannot. We carry 1 from 6, put to 0, we have 10. 10 minus 8 gives 2. Point. We now have 5 left here. 5 minus 4 gives 1. Now we have the logarithm. Now, having gotten the logarithm, we need to now get the anti-logarithm in order to bring it back to the number given. So what is the anti-log what is the anti-log? What is the anti-log of 1.2522? So we are now going to look for anti-log of 1.2522. Now, first, the anti-log of, look at, because anti-logs will always be seen in a decimal point. So this is the characteristics, why this one is the mantissa. So we look for what? Anti-log. You forget about these very characteristics, because the characteristics will now be used to note the position of the points. So we are now going to look for 0.25 under 2, difference of 2, from our anti-log table. Now, from our anti-log table, we have 25 under 2. 25 under 2. Now, 25 under 2 will give us 1786. So, 1786. We have 1786. Then plus difference of 2. Now, trace it to difference of 2. The difference of 2, we have 1. If you add it up, we have 7, 8, 7, 1. Then we have this. So, bringing this back to the number given, we have 1787. Now, the use of these characteristics, you remember, based on what we are doing so far, getting the characteristics is equivalent to subtracting 1 digit out of the 3. Like here, the characteristics is 1, the characteristics is 3, is 2, but we have 3 digits. So we have 2. That means one of the digits we are subtracted. Like this very one, characteristics is what? Is 1, but we have 2 digits. 1 is subtracted. So at this very point, we have one characteristics. To bring it back to the number, you have to add 1 to the characteristics. And if you add 1 here, automatically it becomes 2. Telling you that you are not going to move or make a motion 2 times. Remember, this very number we obtained from our anti-log is a point, because anti-log starts from a what? Point. Now, we have to move what? 2 times, or you just put it in this way. 0.178 times 7 is equivalent to, if you add 1, is equivalent to 2. So we have 10 raised to power 2. So if you now multiply this by 10 raised to power 2, it's going to give you what? 17.87. This gives you the what? The number which you are now looking for. So the answer of this given question now, which is square root of 24.3 times 520.4 raised to power 2, all divided by 2.65 raised to power 3 times 4015 is equal to 17.87. So we are through for today's